Got blood tested.
I don't even know what my blood type is. Literally never found out. I feel like that's really reckless, though, if you ask me. All right.
Because we're live. Yep.
Yep.
Did you tweet out a mailbag?
Yep.
Fantastic.
I tweeted out a mailbag. We have a couple questions. I assume people are going to ask in the chat too, so we will do it as we go. I kind of want to turn on my lava lamp just for show and tell what this is.
Should definitely do that.
Feel me? Okay.
Okay, let's see if anybody put some community questions. No. Okay, that's disappointing. It is bird hunting season. I like that.
Here we go. Lava lamp in the background. Oh, no.
I would very much like to see Danny Dimes kill some birds tonight.
Bugging?
Jaden's eating wings today. I'm having a burger.
An absolute fucking idiot. All right. Putting the wrong one in. There we go. She's on. All right.
Yeah, forgive Alex while he sets up his lava lamp. That is of great necessity
the
right
birds. Now. Yeah, absolutely. I just had it, so we are good to go with a lava lamp in the background. It's not actually working just yet. It'll get there slowly but surely. Anyway, we have a Giants game in an hour and 15 minutes, and I'm pretty hyped about it. This is like, I haven't been this hyped about a game, by the way, in like quite some time, for the sole reason that we actually have a chance of like regaining some ground in the playoff hunt in the NFC East, which is like, I didn't even think we'd be talking about this, right? 5 weeks into the season, 6 weeks into the season, we're 0-5, but somehow the NFC East is so bad. They've given us a glimmer of hope, just a glimmer. And like Ty Jackson said, I'd be happy with multiple touchdowns from Jones. He really hasn't done much in terms of the touchdown category the past couple weeks.
Certainly hasn't.
He hasn't. And the Giants only have 3 red zone touchdowns over the last 5 weeks. So take that as you will. The defense actually has a decent amount of their points for the past couple of weeks. So that just gives you an idea of how good the defense is. Jaden, we eating wings today. Facts, we are.
I agree, Simon. I hate this team more than anything on this planet, and their fans have a lot to do with that. I hate Philly. I really hope we win tonight, but I got to say, I'm emotionally scarred by every time we have some sort of primetime showdown with Philadelphia and they wear their black jerseys. It never ends well, and usually I'm left an emotional wreck. But hopefully, Daniel Jones can change that narrative tonight.
Facts. And as Jaden's saying, is Holmes hurt? I did see he was limited. I didn't hear that he was out, so he might be active today. I'll have to check up on that for you guys. What I do know is that Sterling Shepard is active. Round of applause, because we needed him so badly. He probably will be limited. He'll probably be on a snap count, just because, you know, he's coming off a turf toe injury that he's actually fighting to come back early from. And thanks to Matt Miller Suchet, let's go Giants. He's an imposter. I know he's a Jets fan here. It's my boy. He's a Jets fan. Everyone kick him out. If we could, I would. Matt.
How much do you think Shep is going to play tonight? My guess is like 40% of snaps.
If you said 40%?
Yeah, of offensive snaps.
Yeah, I'd say he'll be more of a decoy, just for the sole reason that he, they don't want to feed him the ball too much, because that's how you're going to get him injured. Like we saw Darius Slayton last week, and he caught that touchdown pass, but he immediately re-injured his foot. He almost had another ankle sprain on that. His foot went bent all the way back, and then he talks about it on the podcast. It was kind of gruesome. Yeah. Ended up walking away just fine. Now he doesn't even have an injury designation, so that's pretty good to see. But for the most part, I'm pretty excited about Shepard coming back. He at least will distract the Eagles secondary. They have actually a pretty good secondary. They're above average in yards per game through the air allowed. So I'm kind of committing to the run game. If I'm the Giants, I'm utilizing Devontae Freeman, and I'm hoping that this offensive line, like Kevin just mentioned, how do we feel about Andrew Thomas getting benched? I mean, that was purely consequential for being late to a meeting, which I agree with. If that's the case, if you're going to be late to a meeting, then, obviously you're going to have to pay the price. Remember Kyle Lauletta, this guy gets stuck in traffic, and, you can't be doing that when you're a late round quarterback. And obviously now he was on the Eagles, maybe still is on the practice squad or something, but he ends up getting cut.
He's on the Browns now.
Right. So he's on the Browns now. He's made his way all the way back to Odell Beckham Jr., which is nice of him. So, that being said, I don't really mind Andrew Thomas being benched. It really hurt him more than it hurt anybody else because he gave up reps to Matt Parrott, who looked awesome in the run game, by the way. Pass blocking, he was about average. He was a little bit better than Andrew Thomas, I would say. But in the run game, he was completely dominant. He via PFF, he graded over a 90 overall. And I watched a lot of the snaps, and he didn't give up any blockers inside. And it's a cardinal sin for offensive linemen or tackles specifically to get beat on the inside. He did a good job holding his ground. He beat Chase Young on a few plays. So I was happy to see it. At the same time, I don't think you give up on Andrew Thomas this early. I think, you put Andrew Thomas back at left tackle, but you take Parrott and put him at right tackle. What's there to lose? What is there to lose if by taking Cam Fleming out? He was so bad last week and against Dallas. You might as well put Parrott in there and see what he's got. The guy literally, I posted a video, which Chase Young actually retweeted, of Cam Fleming literally being put through the spin cycle. No flex, total flex. He literally gets put through the spin cycle. He's turned all the way around by the time the play is over, and Chase Young is like, well, I mean, he doesn't even get touched. He was so fast through the gap there. And with that being said, I mean, Parrott has to come in and show better than that. I mean, I can't imagine he wouldn't, right?
Yeah, but I don't know. They're starting Cam Fleming. Matt Parrott's back on the bench, which is kind of disappointing. Hopefully they will get him back in the lineup soon. Hopefully he'll at least get some snaps soon. But we could see another lineman get some snaps soon too. I don't know if you saw that report that just went out that the Giants are considering moving on from Kevin Zeitler at the trade deadline. That's pretty interesting to me. I think Zeitler is by far our best offensive lineman. We just acquired him via trade 2 years ago or 1 year ago. 1 year ago. So I don't know. I would like to see Fleming stick around, but if they feel like it's time to blow things up, then I guess they'll blow things up. I don't know. But I think it's going to be very dependent on what happens tonight. Because if we win tonight, we're tied for first place in the East. So if we lose tonight, though, we're going to fall back to last place in the East, and things are just going to get messy. And then I think they start to consider trading away those valuable pieces.
Yeah, I mean, the only players I could see them actually trading, Kevin Zeitler is one of them. I'm literally just hitting on the players that actually have any draft value. I saw they're looking to trade Zeitler and Golden Tate. I can't imagine any teams looking at Golden Tate and saying they're probably just going to cut him, if anything. Why would we give up any capital for a player who literally looks like a statue right now? I wouldn't do it. If I was a GM, I would be like, Golden Tate's the last person I would target right now. I mean, you could find somebody else. He's having his worst year, especially since he's supposed to be the king of yards after catch. We have not seen that. We also haven't seen Jason Garrett get him into space. So the scheme plays a part in that as well. It's easy to disregard that fact alone, but Jason Garrett has been an absolute disaster. We've talked about this over and over and over again. Jason Garrett has done nothing to help our best playmakers like Evan Ingram, for example. He's trying to force him into a Jason Witten role, right? He's, short routes, curls, sticks, hitches, not really putting him in positions to get into open space on these drag routes like we saw against the Bucs last year, 75-yard touchdown pass. Use your straightaway speed, extend the field, push the secondary back, and it opens up the running game too, because now you don't know where Evan Ingram's going. We've seen too many just these short routes. And the first play of the game last week, if you remember, Evan Ingram, play action, rolls out to the right side, 21-yard pass. The rest of the game, he had 2 catches for 9 yards. Nobody can tell me that is not Jason Garrett's fault, because we know Evan Ingram can make plays. We know he can catch, but why they are not activating him more in the passing game? Are they like saving him for some reason? I have no idea. He looks healthy. He looks good. His pass blocking has been pretty good. He just hasn't been targeted enough. His run blocking is disaster. He's not a 3-down tight end, by the way. Caden Smith should be in there 50% of the time. I think third downs is when Evan Ingram should be in there every single time. But first down, I don't even want to see him on the field unless they're doing 2 tight end sets.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that makes sense. But the problem with Ingram is the way that they're using him is they're putting him on a lot of short routes, like a lot of short stick routes, a lot of curls, hitches. he's really better going vertical, and they should try and get him to. Yeah, somebody said they need to go past the sticks. That's what they need to do with Evan Engram. They need to get him downfield on some deep targets because that's when he really can use his speed and athleticism as a mismatch tool. You're not mismatching anybody or making a matchup nightmare when your fastest tight end in the league is running 5-yard routes. If your fastest tight end in the league is running 20-yard routes and you got a linebacker on him who's not very fast at all, that's when he becomes a mismatch, and that's how they got to start using him. But I don't see them use him in that way nearly enough. But I'll say another thing about Sterling Shepard. I'm excited to have him back because we've been struggling in the red zone, and he has been historically very efficient in the red zone for the Giants over the past 2-3 years. Especially last year with Daniel Jones, Sterling Shepard was a favorite target for him when they got down in the red zone. So hopefully we could see Shepard on the field when they're in the red zone, and hopefully he can actually maybe get a touchdown or something, help us get in the end zone because we've been really struggling in that portion of the field.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, everyone's saying, I've seen a ton of different analysts say today, Evan Engram is bound for a huge game. And I'm like, we say that every week.
Yeah, we'll see.
It's not
we
his
say that
fault.
every year.
Every year,
every
week, every day. Every day. Every day it's like Evan Engram's so much capable of so much more. He's physically gifted, right? His tangible traits are unbelievable. The issue is Jason Garrett. I'm going to keep going back to him. He's not getting him open. What, like Gucci Moochie just said, love the name, by the way. What's with these 5-yard plays every time? That is what we're asking. Those drag routes are always touchdowns for Shep. And like, that's the new factor. The Giants, like I said before, have only scored 3 red zone touchdowns in the first 5 weeks of the season, right? Over the last 5, I think it was against maybe the last 4 weeks. I'm pretty sure it's the last 5 weeks. The Giants only have 3 red zone touchdowns. Now, having Sterling Shepard back in the lineup is huge. He is the red zone guy for Daniel Jones. He's not a big body, but his route running is one of the crispiest, just most beautiful route runners in the NFL when it comes to those short slants and everything in between, right in the end zone. So I'm really excited to see what he can do there. I think they might just use him like predominantly as a red zone threat and red zone target, because if they need anything, it's red zone efficiency. I'm tired of Graham Gano settling for 40, 50-yard field goal attempts. Of course, I love him hitting them because he's a freaking automatic golden boot Gano. But for the most part, I don't want to have to settle for our field goal hitting these every single time and our offense just not getting it done. But Simon, how about no more curls with Engram anymore too? Because that is about the worst play calling for him. 100% agree.
I agree.
I've been trying to get Jason Garrett's phone number, but I don't exactly know what it is. Probably like Dallas Cowboys 800 or something. I think.
Maybe he's playing personally. Secret agent. Yeah, he's the imposter. Everybody else is a crewmate. He's
sabotage.
The imposter.
If you play Call of Duty, he's literally the sabotage. Like he's the guy.
You don't play Among Us, do you, Alex?
Me?
Yeah. Do you play Among Us?
I play Among You. And what?
You don't? Okay, so you don't even know what I'm talking about, the game Among Us?
Oh, you're talking about that game?
Yeah, with the imposters.
Oh, yeah.
I thought you were making an Among Us reference, and then you weren't. So
it was by accident, but it makes sense tonight.
Yeah, we should get a lot of Giants fans like from the YouTube community. We should play Among Us on a live stream. That would be.
And
really
I think
fun.
all of our different usernames should be different Giants players, and I'll be Jason Garrett. And every time I'll be the imposter because I feel like he's literally driving our offense into the ground. And Ty,
pretty much.
No Holmes tonight. Disappointing. He's actually taken steps forward a lot the past few weeks. I really liked his development. Garrett is super sus.
Garrett's sus.
And he's actually like, I don't trust this man at all. And he has ties to the Giants like way back when, like early on. So like, I want to say like he has the team like in mind, like the best in mind for the offense. But like, I feel like even as fans, and a lot of fans have been calling the same thing. Like it's so predictable. Like we know what Evan Ingram's going to do. We've seen it slowly develop, but I wonder if it's just because they didn't have the preseason. They didn't have, COVID-19, really, really dampened the whole training camp situation. But my question is, I feel like 6 weeks is enough to get a hold on the basic concepts of your offense and get creative. And now we're on a short week. So now I'm kind of like, I'm not too confident that Garrett's going to deploy a creative offense today. You know what I mean?
Well, listen, as much as we like to make that excuse for Jason Garrett, that it was a crazy offseason, he only had 4 weeks, and we gave him the first 4 weeks as like a pass or whatever, right? Look at Carolina. They dropped 35 in their first week with Joe Brady as their brand new offensive coordinator coming from the collegiate level, stepping into an NFL team in an environment that he hasn't been in a couple of years because he was working at LSU. So what excuses can we really make for Jason Garrett? The guy has been coaching an NFL team for like 15 years. He's been on an NFL coaching staff. Sooner or later, it's either he sucks and he needs to go, or he needs to pick it up and this offense needs to drastically improve. And we haven't seen the drastic improvement yet. So I'm going to have to say that he sucks and he needs to go.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I mean, I would say that after this season, if we're still in the bottom 3 in the league, we're averaging 16.8 points per game right now, only second behind the New York Jets. And if any team was behind the Jets, I'd be worried for their well-being. There might be flying planes over MetLife again if that was the case. But, to answer some of the questions that are in the chat right now, Marjorie, thanks for the question. Rather just the information, actually. Bachman and TJ Brunson are going to be playing today. I don't know how much they will be playing. I honestly would like to see.
I think we'll see Brunson on for a bit. Filling in for
I think we'll see Brunson because he's more of a cover linebacker. But Bachman, on the other hand, I really like him kind of taking reps from Golden Tate, because Tate is just proven to be like, looks like he doesn't care. Looks like he doesn't care. Looks like he's just going with the flow, like not really running too hard. I'd like to see Bachman, a hungry young wide receiver who looked sharp this past offseason during camp. I'd love to see him get more action. Like that's what I would like to see. Trent Harris, maybe he'll get some action at OLB with Lorenzo Carter out and Ocean Exhibit is on IR. Logan Ryan will play slot. I think they'll probably rotate a little bit there. Julian Love is going to be playing free safety for the most part until Xavier McKinney comes back, which leads me into Vivek's question. McKinney, I expect to come back later in November. So my prediction is like week 12. Sounds realistic to me. I'm not entirely sure though, because like fractured foots are tricky. You don't want to rush this. You don't want to put him in a position where he's going to re-injure it. So I think they take it slowly. They make sure he's fully back. He's getting a lot of good action in. I think week 12 is a pretty decent timetable for return. Finez, what's with the Knicks jersey? I got a Hakeem Knicks jersey on. I wore it last week and we won. So I'm sticking with that superstition. I'm not really superstitious, but you have the one too. We both
have it on too. See, here's the thing though, when the Giants win games, which they don't do very often, but like this has been a tradition every single year that I've been watching the Giants. When they win, I don't wash the jersey. I keep it as is and I wear it the next week, because you have to smell like an animal to play like an animal. So
I kind of
won last week and I wore this. So hopefully I would really enjoy if I don't take this thing off for the next 12 weeks and it gets really smelly and gross. That would be really ideal, because that would mean that we're winning every single game. But we'll see. I don't know if that's very plausible. But I know like back when when we went on the Super Bowl run and stuff, back in 2016 when we were winning games, I wouldn't wash those jerseys for weeks, man. And I was proud of that. I took pride in my smelly jersey.
I guess we'll stick with that. Since then, it's been pretty bad, I guess. I don't know if the superstition's still holding on, but keep it unwashed, I guess, for now, just in case. But what are your guys? Respond in the chat. I want to hear what your guys' superstition things. Like, if we win, is there something that you do or don't do? Do you wear something? Do you eat something? Do you drink a certain amount of tequila? Because usually I expect we're gonna lose. So that's kind of my thing. I need just tequila time action going on. I want to hear what you guys do, because everyone has some weird stuff going on. I know, like Anthony doesn't wash his clothes. Kind of funky, kind of freaky.
Hey man, if we're winning, if we're winning and it's working, it's working.
That's a sign of a diehard, though. I'll say diehards do crazy stuff like that. Like, I feel like LPG, like when they win, he does some weird stuff. But I love that guy. Like, I hope he does whatever he does works. I feel like he is like the heart of this fan base. But I feel like he's got some funky stuff, like some funky superstitions that he does if they win.
You think? Kind of fun. I don't know. Maybe he does. We should ask him sometime. We should get him on.
We should ask him. We'll get him on the live stream sometime. We'll ask him. But we got Tiki Barber jersey for good luck if we win tonight. I got this bad boy.
Not bad.
Way back when. Before his fumbling issue. No, this is after his fumbling issues were solved.
I have this right here. Yeah. This Odell that I don't have hanging up anymore. It's signed, but I don't have it hanging. Nice.
That's a good one. And I got another Tiki one too.
Yeah. I have up here, I can't really position my camera, but I've got my Eli Manning from Steiner Sports signed from the Tyree catch when he was breaking out, and it says Eli's Great Escape, Super Bowl 42 MVP. And I think that's a
This is the frame, if you guys remember from Twitter. Someone keeps trying to steal. My girlfriend drew, I guess, painted this for me. Between you and I, it's not that great, but it's sentimental, so I gotta like it.
I think it's pretty
but people
good. I
keep
don't know. It's better than I
It's
could
pretty
do.
good. It's pretty good because she doesn't watch football, so like for what it is, it's pretty fire. Um, but the funniest thing is like people keep taking this picture that I posted on Twitter like a year ago and like be like, "Oh, my girlfriend made this for me," and I'm like, "Bro, I promise you, I have the OG one here. Like they did not do that. They did not draw that for you."
Yeah, I remember when someone made that drawing or that painting their profile picture on Twitter, and I was like,
that was like,
why? Like, why?
no idea.
I mean, like, it's a nice painting, but it's a sentimental thing for you. They could find any picture of Saquon Barkley that's like super
Any
cool
picture.
and make that their profile picture, but they decided
Literally
to go
any
with your
picture.
girlfriend's painting. I just thought that cracked me up. I thought that was funny. I don't know.
Airborne Cheeseburger. I kind of like that name.
That is a cool name.
Reserved strictly for Victory Mondays, not worn frequently. Okay. I feel like maybe that's a superstition that has to change at this point.
Superstition.
Well, it might have to change because I feel like if that's a superstition, maybe that's why we're losing. I feel like OBJ is like a bad.
It's
like
all
a bad
on Airborne
omen.
Cheeseburger.
Yeah, Airborne Cheeseburger. We're blaming you for this losses. Zach, totally feel your pain. Odell jersey the week before he got traded. That's unfortunate. That's why like I'm a big soccer fan too. And I don't buy jerseys unless it's an international team because guys get traded like yearly.
Yeah.
I
have two Odell jerseys. I don't wear them anymor.
How do you acquire two Odell Beckham jerseys? Like, how do you? Does someone gift both of them?
I was a big fan of Odell. I have the blue one and I have a Color Rush one. The Color Rush one came out. I was like, okay, I need a Color Rush jersey. Odell is dope, so I got that, and I already had the blue one at that point. So.
Because I got the Barkley one, but I'm kind of getting worried now. I feel like I kept the tags on it, so maybe I'll just return it if he gets traded.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous, though. I got to say. It's beautiful.
Finesse, I do live in Florida, but I'm from Long Island. But I've lived in Florida for about half my life. So hopefully soon
Airborne
we'll
Cheeseburger.
Move back up
That's
to
a
New
good
York.
idea.
Hopefully after college. We'll see.
Yeah, hopefully. Back to the Big Apple where dreams are made, right?
Yep. Where I desire to be.
There's a few things that I want to mention. I wrote down a few things that I wanted to talk. Actually, let's go to Twitter to ask some. We have some questions here.
Yeah.
I want to answer those because we promised we would. Now,
Zach,
the first one is
Zach,
any chance.
We did answer. Hold on, real quick, because Zach just asked a question.
Okay.
We did answer the Zeitler deadline stuff a little earlier. I'm not sure if you were in here yet, but we're both kind of like, I mean, if it happens, it happens. I want to see Zeitler stay with the team, but if they feel like Lemieux is ready and they want to get some draft picks, maybe they should do it. Depending on what happens tonight. If we win and we're in first place in the East, then let's probably keep the team as is and try and win some more games. But if we lose and we're back in last place, then I'm totally for selling off any pieces that might give us some, some draft capital.
Agreed. If we lose this game, we should just trade value pieces now, gain draft capital, and just take a big step. Mm-hmm. But if they trade, I think that
we're going to win.
Needs to be yeah. We're going to win, but in an alternative reality where we lose, which is not this reality, they trade Zeitler and we put Pear at right tackle and Lemieux at right guard, and then we just develop from there. Like we establish that offensive line for the future. That's how I feel about it. That's what I think should happen in this alternate reality that isn't this reality because we're going to win. But going back to the Twitter questions, any chance of Ingram converting to wide receiver and Caden Smith starting at tight end? That's a good question. There's a few things. I've actually thought about this a lot. Caden Smith should be splitting the reps with Evan Ingram 50-50, in my opinion. I think he fits that Jason Witten mold that Jason Garrett is just trying to force Evan Ingram into. Ingram as a wide receiver theoretically makes sense. The reason I hate it is because he is a terrible route runner and he has zero hands. He doesn't have the hands that a good wide receiver would have. I think he's better as a tight end that just plays on 50% of the snaps and is more of a third down tight end than a first down one. And they've been using him on run blocks far too often. I saw him get absolutely annihilated against Dallas by Aldon Smith on multiple occasions. They had him 1v1 blocking, which is just embarrassed. I don't even know why they would scheme that way. It just doesn't make any sense to me. But I don't think that they convert him to wide receiver. I think they just start to increase Caden Smith's reps in the 2 tight end sets personally. What do you think, Anthony?
I think that we should see more Caden Smith. And I do think that they should consider if Shepard isn't fully healthy, depending on what happens, maybe they should split Engram out wide a few times, just to sprinkle him in over there and see how he does. And then, make sure that he remains a tight end, but they're not using him efficiently at that position. So we can give him a try at wide receiver and see how it goes. But I do want to see more Caden Smith on the field, regardless of what they do with Engram.
Right. Yeah. I think overall, Caden Smith should be a priority moving forward. He is really good at picking up first downs. I think he had 3 catches last week, and 2 of them were first downs. So I'd love to see him getting the ball. He has the big frame that you want. And what Jason Garrett's really looking for, he just doesn't have the speed. Now, I don't think speed is that big of an issue since, like we talked about on the podcast, Jason Witten basically could have been in a wheelchair and somehow getting open against the Giants. And he basically was. The guy had 2 ankle sprains, Anthony was saying this earlier this week. 2 ankle sprains. He still went out and torched us. That's crazy to me that, obviously we didn't have the best cover linebackers. Alec Ogletree was basically a tree. He didn't move. And then he went to the Jets, and he even got cut by the Jets, man. Oh my God.
Do you remember Wani Unga?
Yeah, I do. We got rid of him pretty quickly.
Yeah, but remember that first game against Dallas of the season? He played pretty good for the first 2 quarters, and we were all like, whoa, did we find something special? Because nobody had ever heard of the guy. And then Jason Witten just tore him to shreds in the second half and scored a game-winning touchdown on him, and it was super depressing. Wani Unga, bro. I'll never forget that guy. He was so good for 2 quarters.
He was like the best guy I ever saw. And then he just disappears. I feel like that happens with the Giants though.
It's such a Giants thing,
comes
bro.
in. But think about it, Ogletree. On one play, he'll have a one-handed interception. And the next play, he'll be getting bulldozed by Boston Scott. And then you're like, okay, this makes very little sense. Why is he capable of one-handed interceptions and then getting absolutely run over by tiny little running backs that shouldn't even be on a starting roster? It blows my mind that but that's just inconsistencies across the board. The Giants have had that for years now. I personally think that we're in a much better place. Blake Martinez is the man. Anthony, to your defense, early on when we were talking about him way back when they first signed him, he's not supposed to be a cover linebacker. And you were spot on. That's not how they're using him. That's why he's been so good. He's been great in the things that he's very good at. And Patrick Graham, and I want to talk about Patrick Graham for a second because I've been enamored with the way he's coached.
I love that man.
Love that man. So there's a few things that I really like about him. The first thing is that he doesn't wait for bad players to become good. Right? We were waiting for Alec Ogletree to become good for 3 years. We were waiting for people just like Wani Unga to suddenly become good, waiting for guys. And now we're in a position where you have Blake Martinez, or let's say Corey Ballantyne and Isaac Yadam. They both have been benched, right? They both sucked. Good. And last season we saw Betcher keep them in for exponentially longer than they should have been. Right. After 2 weeks, after 1 week, really, Graham starts to take reps away from Ballantyne, puts Yadam in more. Then he starts to take reps away from Yadam and put Ryan Lewis in more. And Ryan Lewis has been pretty good. He had his best game of the season last week against Washington. Right. He had his best game last week. And I'm hoping that we can see a little bit more of Ryan Lewis today. And I think what they're going to do is similar to what they did last week with James Bradbury, because the Eagles don't really have a number 1 wide receiver. They have Desean Jackson and Fulham. But Fulham's been pretty good. I don't think he is shadow worthy personally. I think they have James Bradbury take away an entire section of the field. They have Julian Love deep in the secondary to, hold back Desean Jackson, make sure he doesn't get into the deep secondary, because that's what I'm scared of. All it takes is one play to change the momentum and really put the Giants on their back foot, right? All it takes is one 75-yard Desean Jackson touchdown, knock on wood, because that is what I'm terrified of. If we can keep that from happening, I think we can keep this game pretty close until the end. We just need the offense to pick it up.
Yeah, by far my least favorite player in the NFL is Desean Jackson. I have such terrible, depressing memories related to watching Giants football and watching Desean Jackson. So If we can keep him shut down, I will be happy.
I hate
That's
that
all
guy.
I want. Yeah, I hate that guy too. Not to mention,
Yeah.
well, I don't want to mention him, but the thing is, he said over the offseason. So those two, I hate the guy. I just don't like him.
Yeah. No, I don't like him because he just seems a little arrogant and he always hurts us in the end. And I don't like being hurt. I'll tell you that. So
Well,
I see a
I'll
lot of
just
people. I see
say,
you talking about Tampa.
yeah, we're talking about the Tampa game because, I mean, it's always a great environment when you watch a Giants game in Tampa. There's always more Giants fans than there are Bucks fans, and it's really cool.
There's a lot of Giants fans down in Tampa, surprisingly.
Down all over Florida.
Yeah, so it's crazy all over Florida. But what I was going to say about Tampa is this actually is a big factor for Sterling Shepard, right? Because if Sterling Shepard has a setback today with his toe, right? Next week, we're probably going to get rocked by Tampa Bay. Their defense is really good, and their offense is also capable of being really good. We saw what they did to the Packers last week. It was a complete just blowout. Now, if Shepard has an injury, he reoccurs this toe injury, I'm not this is the best time for the Giants to win this game, right? This is the best opportunity for them to get back into the NFC East. If Shepard, in fact, has a setback with his toe injury, they have 3 weeks to rehabilitate him and have him come back for week 10, I think, because they have week 8 against Tampa, week 9's a bye week, and then they come in against Washington again. Who is it?
Yeah, Washington again, I believe.
Washington again. So that's a really good opportunity for him to return against Washington. Yep. So it's Washington, 1 p.m. on November 8th. And that's an opportunity for us to, have one of our best playmakers back. And then going back to Xavier McKinney, since I'm looking at the schedule now, week 9 is Washington, 10 again is Eagles, then 11 is the Bengals. I think that he either returns against the Bengals or the Seahawks, 11/29 or December 6th. I think those are the 2 games that I'm targeting for McKinney to return. And it would be a really, really good time for him to do so against the Bengals specifically, because if we're going to beat Washington, and if we win tonight and we beat Washington in week 9 and Eagles in week 10, we have to beat the Bengals. Otherwise, we might get lost in the NFC East divisional race. We can probably take this division with 6 or 7 wins, which is kind of sad to say, but it's just the case.
It is really depressing. I mean, not depressing. I mean, just pathetic. That's pathetic. If somebody wins this division with 6 wins, that's pretty pathetic. I think that would be a record, right? Is 6-10 the worst record that has ever made the playoffs? I think so. Tie for a record. Yeah, mathematically, it's possible for a 4-12 team to make it out of the NFC East this year, which is just unbelievable. It would require us to only win divisional games.
I wouldn't even want that, though. You know what I mean? Like at that point,
no, that's terrible, because that would be a top 5 to 10 pick, but instead it's going to be like the 20th pick because of
what's the 19th. If you have the worst record, if you get knocked out in the first round of the playoffs, you have the worst record
now, right? It'd be 17th, because of
I guess
2 extra playoff teams.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So 17th pick would be the highest you'd get. In a hot dog, I bleached my hair because I was bored. I have been, quarantined for 7 months. Looks brutal. I'm getting a haircut on Monday. I get this question a lot. I don't regret it, so I'll tell you that right now. Among a lot of other things,
cool. I like it, but yeah, that looks cool.
I'm gonna get a haircut on Monday. I figured I was so bored. If you've done anything over the last 7 months, there has to be something that you were like, you know what, screw it, I'm bored and no one's gonna see me anyway. And of course, then we started live streaming and people now are seeing me.
Dude, that was me in the beginning of quarantine, because I can't grow a beard, but I wanted to grow a beard, so I just grew a beard and I tried, and it was terrible. But we went and did those live streams, and I kept looking at myself on YouTube, and I'm like, it has to go. I can't continue this, and I had to shave it. It was so bad, dude. I wish someone would have just sat me down and be like, you look awful. Shave it.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm not the biggest beard fan myself. It kind of it's spotty. I just go clean.
Yeah, I just can't grow it in. If I could grow it in, I think I'd look good with it. And I would like to do it, but I just can't do it.
I wish I could just grow one of those really nice, just fuzzy beards where it's just it's a good looking beard. It makes sense for me. I just don't have that genetic, I don't know.
Maybe one day, little guy.
I mean, I feel like little guy's a little aggressive for you. How old are you? 21?
19.
You're 19. Yeah. See, Anthony's 19. He kind of talks like he is 25 or 26, right? I would say.
I've actually heard that before. People have told me that. I don't know. I don't think it's true. I think I talk like my age, but
thanks, Simon. I appreciate it. I
Yeah.
appreciate the love.
People are
Yeah, see,
hating
I'm
on
gonna
your
get a
hair
haircut.
right now,
It'll look
bro.
better, I promise. It's just growing out so fast, bro. Like my hair just grows insanely fast. So now I gotta go get a haircut again. Um, yeah, Simon, see, yeah, put him in his place. Put Hot Dog in his place. Put this glizzy down. Put this glizzy down. He came in here all glizzied up, trying
Glizzy
to get
down.
crazy. He came in here trying to get crazy. Airborne Cheeseburger should know. Also came in here with shots firing off. So I'm kind of tired of the whole. I'm being honest. Okay, I appreciate the
Honesty is the
honesty.
best policy. He's got a good point.
It is. It is. You know, it is nice. I'm being honest.
I guess you got to shave your head bald now.
Nah, I feel like that would be reckless. I feel like that would be
That would be very reckless. Don't do that. That wasn't serious. Don't do that.
I was trying to go with the OBJ look. See, like somebody before said, you know, they wear the OBJ jersey after every single win, which doesn't happen very often. I went with the OBJ haircut, and now I got glizzies coming at me.
Yeah, now you're getting roasted by hot glizzies.
Hot glizzies up in here. I don't even know who it is. No idea.
But I also want to mention some things in the chat from earlier that we missed. Talking about Desean Jackson. So someone was talking about that punt return, and I want to tell the story of that punt return because that's when I still lived on Long Island. So it had to be 2010, right? And we were winning that game big, and I thought we had it in the bag. And when that comeback started to happen, you know, just that fear started growing. And then I'll never forget Tom Coughlin running over to Matt Dodge saying, punt it out of bounds, punt it out of bounds. And then he punts it right to Desean Jackson. And Desean Jackson brings it back. And I just remember because I had to be 9 years old, I think, 2010, 9 years old. So I just started crying. And I just ran to my room and I was depressed for like days, just in my room, sad. And it was so terrible. And I just hate Desean Jackson so much for that and all the other terrible memories he's handed me as a football fan. So,
dude, I will
more than
anything,
I don't want to see him score or even touch the ball today. I hate it. I hate him. I just,
dude,
I would
say
like to win. I really like to win.
I have two things to say about that game. I'll never forget Tom Coughlin ripping Matt Dodge. And I love how they literally just, who's the cheater doing chucked at Desean Jackson. I'll never forget Jackson running across the line of scrimmage, like taunting us. And like, I felt like he was doing it to me, you know, like, the end zone. Like he was running across the line before he went in. And I literally felt like it was directed at me. Like every individual Giants fan like felt that to their core. And like that really sparked my hatred for the Eagles. Like I never like really had an interaction with like a Eagles fan that was like so bad. Since then I have, but it's like that I feel like it just targeted me as a fan, as a human. My soul hurt. And I just was like, ever since that, I'm like, you know what, screw the Eagles. They can go choke.
Yeah, I want more than anything to beat Philadelphia tonight. I really want to beat them.
You know how long it's been since we beat Philadelphia at home?
Far too long.
2013.
Last time we beat them in Philadelphia?
The last time we beat them in general was in 2016. You know how long that is? It's been 4 years since we had the satisfaction, and we play them twice per year. Twice per year, and we haven't beat them in 3 seasons, right? So I'm kind of just like shaken. I'm like, seriously, like I can't wait for the satisfaction of beating the Eagles. And that leads me to what I want to say right now is 3 points today that the Giants need to establish to win this game. The first one, run the football. The Eagles have allowed 10 rushing touchdowns this year, right? 10 rushing touchdowns. So they should be running the football. Devonta Freeman's going to I think he's going to get minimum 20 touches tonight, right? In pass and running the football. I think he's going to get that. I think that Matt Parrott should be playing right tackle because he's a better run blocker than Cam Fleming, right? I would say Andrew Thomas is also is getting better and better and better every week with his run blocking. So that's good to see. And I think the second thing is that the turnover differential, Daniel Jones cannot turn over the ball in the red zone. He's been doing it every week. So that's 2 of them. 3 of them is I think that we need to put Carson Wentz on the ground. He's on pace this year for 66 sacks.
Yeah, we definitely need to see that pass rush go crazy today. Leonard Williams.
They're getting Lane Johnson back, though.
Yeah, I know. But, you know, he'll be a little banged up. I want to say what you were saying about Matt Parrott playing. I saw Jordan Renan while we were doing this live stream tweeted that He expects to see Matt Parrott get sprinkled into the lineup a little bit here and there, get some snaps because he played well last week. Just keep like grooming him for when he's eventually ready to start.
Right.
So hopefully we do see that, but he's not going to be starting. It's probably going to be, it's probably going to be Cam Fleming for 95% of the game.
I really hope not. AJ, for the trade deadline, November 3rd, I think this game determines whether or not they will be sellers or buyers, right? I don't think they're
buyers on any scenario, though. They can't be buyers.
You know what? Let me ask a question. And I want everyone to answer this because it's actually interesting. And this is not me saying I agree with it. I'm just asking a question, okay? Do you think I heard that the Jets are willing to trade Quinnen Williams for a second round pick? Okay. Just hear me out. Hear me out. He's not Leonard Williams. He's not going into a contract year. He has 3 years left on his rookie deal, and he's playing on the Jets for Christ's sake. So, do you take the bait and do you sell? You trade a second round pick for Quinnen Williams, who is a very, very talented player with a lot of potential. I'm not saying I would do it. I'm asking.
A second round pick for Leonard Williams, for Quinnen Williams,
and let Leonard Williams walk and save the money.
Okay.
Save the money.
Here's my thing. I would love Quinnen Williams if we were in a different situation. This team, the way that it's constructed, we cannot put more assets into the defensive line. We have put enough. We put a third and a fifth for Leonard Williams, and then $17 million on the franchise tag. A second round pick for Dalvin Tomlinson, a first round pick for Dexter Lawrence, a third round pick for BJ Hill, a 7th round pick for Chris Slayton, a 7th round pick for RJ McIntosh. Enough is enough. Let's start getting some other positional groups.
That's what I was thinking too.
Had we invested
we've done so much.
If we invested all this on the offensive line, could you imagine what we would have for Daniel Jones in front of him? We're only now.
Let me piss you off though. Let me piss you guys off really quickly. Okay. So the Ravens.
Wreck my mood before this game.
I will wreck your moods. That way the Giants make it so much better.
Oh, the Ravens. I know where you're going with this.
The Ravens. Okay, this is so bad. I literally sat there and just like a single tear rolled down my face. The Ravens acquired Ngakoue, right, for a 3rd round pick and a 5th rounder, which is pretty good value for them considering Ngakoue was, I think it's 5 sacks through 6 weeks, right? Now, a 3rd and a 5th rounder for the Ravens. Obviously, Minnesota acquired him for a 2nd and a 5th rounder, so they actually lost value on this deal. They were just trying to recoup anything at this point because they're not doing too well. But Dave Gettleman, this is kind of up the alley of what you're saying, Anthony, that they should not be giving draft capital away, and what you guys are also saying in the chat. They should not be giving any more. We only have 5 picks next year. We should be gaining as many picks as possible. And the fact that we only have 5 picks makes me think they will be sellers, by the way. Now, hear this. Dave Gettleman has traded a 2nd round pick, a 3rd round pick, 2 4th round picks, 2 5th round picks, and a 6th round pick for DeAndre Baker, who is no longer on the team, Alec Ogletree, who is no longer on the team, and Leonard Williams, who is about to be no longer on the team if they don't resign him. And he was just basically a rental. If they don't resign him, I will personally go to Dave Gettleman's house and just lie a dog shit burning on his doorstep. Because 2nd, 3rd, 2 4ths, 2 5ths, and 6th, every
Billy
movie,
Madison.
Billy
Madison. That's when Adam Sandler does it.
Think about that for a second. Think about how absolutely embarrassing it is when I list off the amount of picks he's literally given away for zero value. Zero value.
You just look at the 3rd and a 5th for Ngakoue versus a 3rd and a 5th for Leonard Williams, and you're just like, wow. The Ravens GM's Airborne Cheeseburger just said it. The Ravens GM is a wizard. That is true. He is literally incredible. But, I just wish Dave Gettleman had more of an understanding of positional value, more of an understanding of who you should be giving your draft picks to and what your team is, and whether or not you should be sellers or buyers. And he was a buyer last year, and we should have been sellers.
Agreed. And I can't believe that we were already pretty much mathematically eliminated from the playoffs, and we actually went and bought a defensive tackle of all players when we had BJ Hill, who's a starting caliber player on the roster. It's insane.
The problem is, though, he was about to be a free agent. Like, we could have just negotiated in free agency.
It was Pat Shermer trying to save his job. I think they were trying to save their jobs, personally.
Yeah, that's the player who's going to do it. That's going to save your job right there, Leonard Williams. Man, that backfired. He's good. He's a great player. But just to give up what they gave up, I don't know.
Yeah, look,
And
Ravens
yes,
got
Hot Dog
Marcus Peters
Quinnen
for a
is a
fifth.
pass rusher. Yeah, that was a hell of a trade too.
And I
And
agree, Quinnen is a
and
pass rusher. He's
Quinnen is a
capable of
pass rusher.
doing
No, Quinnen is
a younger Leonard
solid.
Williams.
Okay, he's not an edge rusher, and he's not a guy who's going to get you 12 sacks a year, but he does have Fletcher Cox potential. Like he is really solid.
What
He
was that?
looked like coming out of Alabama. Yeah, I had a really bad slip of the tongue there, but coming out of Alabama, he looked like he could be the next Aaron Donald, and he was so dominant, but he hasn't put it together yet. And so you have to wonder, is he not putting it together because he's on the Jets, or is he just not what we thought he was? And then you have to wonder, can he still put it together if he goes elsewhere, or is he just stuck being what he is now because he didn't grow properly, right? So with Quinnen Williams, if you do trade for him, you can't give up a second. That's ridiculous. But here's a scenario I'll throw out there. What if you get a third for Kevin Zeitler, and then you take your third and you keep the third that you got for Zeitler, but you take your third and trade it for Quinnen Williams? Now that I would consider.
Say that
Just
again.
say you traded Kevin Zeitler and you got a third round pick. I would keep that third and then trade my third for Quinnen Williams. That I would consider doing, but I don't think they'll let him go for a third. I think they'll need at least a second.
But then you're just reallocating your best offensive lineman.
Yeah, no, I that's why initially I said I don't even want to trade Kevin Zeitler. I want to keep Kevin Zeitler. But if they're considering letting Zeitler go because they think Lemieux is ready, that's the scenario where I could
They
see
have to
Quinn
be
Williams
confident.
being an option.
But how
That's
do you,
the only
but
scenario.
Okay, so here's my objection to this. How the hell do you know Shane Lemieux was ready with 0 reps? How do you even justify that? You know what I mean? You can't justify he's ready unless he actually has had reps. And I want to hit on one of these questions that he just asked that I think Ramin asked. What would y'all think if we got John Dorsey, or who's a younger GM you guys would like? There's 2 options I like: Ed Dobbs and Nick Caserio. Those are the 2 guys that I would love to see.
Dodds, not BBS.
Dobbs.
Are you dyslexic?
No, I said Dodds. I said Dobbs.
You said Dobbs.
No, I said, oh, my bad. I meant to say Dodds.
Okay.
Maybe it just sounds like Dobbs. Dodds.
Yeah, I thought you said Dobbs, but I like Ed Dodds too, and I like Nick Caserio. But here's my thing with Nick Caserio. That's what every Giants fan on Twitter is saying. They want Nick Caserio. That's not going to happen. Like, because of the fact that anytime the Giants fan base is collectively in on one thing, we don't get that one thing. So we could just write it off because of that, right? That's not going to happen. But if it's possible to get him, I would love him. I just don't see it a possibility. And here's the thing with Caserio, right? He has been sitting in New England building championship rosters and getting paid a ton of money.
No reason to
What
leave.
incentive does he have to leave? I don't understand why Giants fans think he's just going to be
maybe?
happy to leave New England and working with Belichick and Kraft and all these other, world-class football minds. I don't see any reason for him to leave and go to the Giants unless, he wants a challenge or something. But I would welcome him with open arms. He would be my top choice, but I just think he's like he's not possible to get, I don't think.
Cheeseburger, you're spot on. We would find a 99-year-old man who literally is like still trying to play 1940s football with like leather helmets. That's what we would acquire.
Remember back in the day when the Giants had that one weight trainer who was like literally 85 years old and had been on the staff for 60 years, and everyone was like, how is that even possible? Dude, that guy is going to become the next GM somehow.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like of all people, like I don't want Kevin Abrams. And I get he's the money guy, but I feel like our cap has been so
our
bad
money
for
has not
so
been
long.
good for a very long time.
I know. I'm like, unless our money has been phenomenal, I don't think he's a player evaluation guy, right? I don't think he's a player eval kind of GM. He's a money guy. You can hire an accountant, like a really good accountant, to help you with the money. I would like to go out and find a guy who's good at putting rosters together that is in cohesion with what Joe Judge is trying to do, right? That is what I would like to see.
You know what, Hot Dog? Actually, you're right. Rest in peace to that guy. I do remember that now. He did pass away. And then, is that Shawnee, C18? Time for Belichick to come home and jam the Giants.
Facts.
I pray.
Facts.
I pray. I would really like to see that happen.
Oh, okay. So, Cheeseburger, thank you for the update. You're seriously airborne at the moment. Optimistic. Fleming is RT1 in warmups. That's unfortunate. I think they're going to rotate them, though. I
think we'll see Parrott play at some point tonight.
Yes,
I
would agree with that. See if I can find any news. I think, okay, here's what I do think. I think that Sterling Shepard's going to open up the game a ton for Darius Slayton because they've just been trying to factor him out. And it's easier to do when he's the only guy they're actually going to be throwing to and have any, chemistry with the entire game. I'm happy to see that they're kind of finally getting some guys back in there. I wonder if they draft or sign a wide receiver next year. I wonder if they're selling on Sterling Shepard. I don't know.
Well, I think Shepard is going to be a big piece of the offense today, even if he's playing limited snaps. Like I said, I think he'll play around 40% of the snaps, but I think they will be key snaps, third downs, red zone targets. Like I do expect him to make an impact and especially open things up for Slayton because it's been pretty easy to game plan against the Giants passing attack these past few weeks. We know that Engram's not a threat, and we know that Darius Slayton is the biggest threat. So Slayton, while he had that touchdown last week, he only had 2 receptions, right? Because they knew that he was the guy. That's who they were going after because they did it all week in Dallas, right? So this week, I would assume, last time we played in Philly, Darius Slayton had a huge game. That's when Eli Manning was throwing him some dimes, and he played great. And then Pat Shurmur blew the game in the second half in overtime, right? So I would assume that Philly has the wherewithal to say, let's guard Darius Slayton today and make them beat us with Engram and make them beat us with Freeman and make them beat us with Shepard, Bachman, and Mack, right? So I do expect Darius Slayton to get his. He'll have a solid game, but I do think that, probably we're going to have to see these other guys step up because they're going to be game planning to take Darius Slayton out of this game. But good luck with that because Darius Slayton's a beast. They can't take him out.
Cheeseburger said force feed Golden Tate today. I hope not, man. I hope not. I really hope they get Alex Bachman in there. But you know what? I think that we're going to see a little bit more from Daniel Jones today. I think he's going to be a little bit safer. Do you guys remember he like laid the hit on John Bostic last week, like with his throwing shoulder, the Washington defender. He nailed that guy. Like right shoulder leaned into him. He actually hit him harder. He went flying. Daniel Jones went flying forward. But it was crazy to see.
It was a Danny Pancake.
That's what I'm saying. Danny Pancake. He was Derek Danny Henry.
Danny Cakes.
Danny Henry.
Anybody who's watching that's seen Sopranos, they're Danny Cakes.
There you go.
Instead of Johnny.
I'll promote Kevin Ingram, sir. Sir. We've already talked about this. Not Kevin Abrams.
Not Kevin Abrams. I don't want Kevin Abrams. Listen, Kevin Abrams, okay, the thing is, he's a good guy. He's been around a while.
Yeah, I know.
And so he'll probably get the job. He'll probably get the job for that reason. But I would appreciate if the Giants took an outside brain and somebody from outside of this organization to evaluate it, come in and fix it. Because things haven't been working for a while. And I think that we need a different mindset and a different culture that Joe Judge is starting to build. But we need somebody like-minded with him to come in and help him reset this team and fix it. Now, I know that there's a guy in Tennessee. I can't remember his name once again. I never can. But there's a guy in Tennessee who Albert Breer has listed as a potential candidate for the Giants at GM because of a connection with Joe Judge or something. Maybe something in Alabama. I don't remember. But he's pretty solid. I like what they've done in Tennessee. They've done an excellent job. And then, of course, Caserio does have that connection to Judge. We don't know how strong it is. I don't see Caserio leaving New England, but obviously that's a no-brainer. If you can get Caserio to leave New England, you take him. But Kevin Abrams, while I understand not wanting to completely overhaul the Giants roster and everything, sometimes you got to do things that you don't want to do. And I think this is one of those things that we got to do because this roster has been a struggle for at least 5 years now, 4 or 5 years.
A serious struggle. No, you're 100% right.
Always am.
I mentioned this before. What was that?
I always am.
Oh, yeah. Always am. Anthony the Great is what they call him.
Anthony the Great.
That's what everyone has to call him now. Or your Sopranos alias.
Yeah.
Tony?
That is my nickname. Yeah, people call me Tony now. I'm at the point in my life where I am now Tony to people and no longer Anthony. And I'm also at the point where my nickname is Soprano. Oh, man, I forgot. That reminds me, man. I have a bag of meatballs sitting in my fridge at school, and I left them there. They're probably going to be rotten when I get back.
I had meatballs tonight, man. I'm chilling. I have my victory meatballs. We're chilling. We're gonna cop this dub now. But as NO New York NYM, I don't know exactly whatever that is. I did mention before that 10 rushing touchdowns through 6 games the Eagles have allowed. Devonta Freeman should be fed. He should be fed. the glizzies,
I
and the
agree.
football. Yes, that is how I feel.
Glizzies, the burgers. I can't believe that we've been joined by the two foods that I ate tonight. I had a glizzy tonight and I had a cheeseburger. And we're sitting in this chat talking to somebody named Hot Dog and talking to somebody named Airborne Cheeseburger. I think that's very ironic and it's very funny and it makes me happy.
Maybe it does. It's the little things in life, isn't it? The
It really
glizzies and
is. Like,
cheeseburgers.
just it's beautiful.
I know. It is. Anyway, we have the game coming up in about 20 minutes here. So I want to wrap things up so you guys can get comfortable into your seats, get your superstitious jerseys on, maybe curse out some people on Eagles fans on Twitter. Every now and then I'll get like a whole Eagles barrage attacking me, and it's pretty funny. The Glizzy Gladiator, love it.
I'm the Glizzy Gladiator.
That's the new nickname. Yes, that is the new nickname. Tony the Glizzy Gladiator.
Sir, absolutely. If we win, I will post a video of myself having a victory glizzy on Twitter. Only if we win. I will try to eat it. So. We'll speed run it. I will speed run the glizzy and be a glizzy gladiator. I will try and get it in like 10 seconds or less. I'll just
That's reckless. That's reckless.
That's a thing.
I don't know if I want to watch that.
Let's hope that they win so that we can all watch me do that.
When I was in high school, I watched this kid blend a glizzy, and then like, I'm not even gonna go there.
Yeah, I don't want to hear about blended glizzy.
Yeah, I don't want to tell that story. It was disgusting. Anyway, with 20 minutes left, let's get our game score predictions in so we can go set up, get ready, get your drinks, get your foods, get your mind right. Got to do a little meditation before this, so just in case, always got to be prepared for everything.
Mm-hmm.
But let's leave our game score predictions. I think that the Giants are going to win this one. I think it's going to be 24-20. 24-20. A glizzy's a hot dog, by the way.
Yes.
For Thrill Collins.
Okay, so the pessimistic side of me wants to say 24-21 Philadelphia. And I hate to say that, but that's just, if I'm being a realist, I think, we're not the favorites to win. They're the favorites. But you know what I will say? I want to be optimistic today. This live stream put me in a very good mood, and I feel very optimistic about the Giants now. So I'm going to predict 31-21 Giants.
31-20. Yeah, you really think the offense is going to score 31 points?
No, I think that the defense is going to score a
scenario?
touchdown. The defense is going to score a touchdown.
Okay.
And then Freeman gets one in, and I think Daniel Jones finally has a multi-touchdown game.
I think Bradbury has an interception.
Ooh, a pick six? Or just a pick?
No, not a pick six, just a regular interception.
I
think
so.
Daniel Jones has a rushing touchdown tonight. That'll give him some momentum, I'd say.
A nice 40-yard read option to the end zone. Oh, that'd be sick.
There's going to be 3 touchdowns. I don't think the defense will have it. I think Sterling will have one. I think Devonta Freeman will have one. And Daniel Jones will have a rushing one. I really want Darius Slayton to get one too, though, because I am starting him and Freeman tonight because I can't stop hurting myself. Yeah, it really is. I just can't stop hurting myself. Is what it is.
Well, let's hope we win. James Bradbury scoring twice.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised. He's been our absolute best player. The only guy that's ranked above him right now is Jair Alexander, and he's an absolute tank.
Yeah, Jair is really good.
But what are you going to do? James Bradbury's been an absolute monster for us. He allowed 3 catches for 19 yards last week and an interception. Fantastic.
I like how all of us Giants fans in this chat are giving 2 score predictions. We're all giving the prediction if we lose and the prediction if we win. You gotta play it safe.
Not with this
team. We all know what's coming. We're all in denial, I think. We're all in denial.
I think we shut down Desean Jackson, though. That'll be fun.
Yes, that's a must.
The one thing I hate, before we gotta go, the one thing I hate is that little Carson Wentz duck thing where he goes underneath of pass rushers. You know what I'm talking about? He bends over and he swims underneath of them. That pisses me off. He always gets away from it too.
And Ogletree just goes and he gets air. That was pathetic.
I didn't know you could be so athletic and so unathletic at the same time.
That's Ogletree, man. Ogletree. He's an anomaly. He is truly one unique individual.
You have to be a freak athlete to be in the NFL, but I feel like he was so unathletic at the same time. It didn't physically make sense.
He was something else, man. He was something else.
Yeah, he was something else. Anyway, fellas, that was really loud. Apologies. Thank you guys for joining us on the live stream this week. Thursday night session. Awesome. We'll have the podcast up probably tomorrow. We'll probably do an episode tomorrow. And hoping we're going to do this every single week. So hopefully, we'll get more people, get some more interaction going, have some fun. And any suggestions that you guys have, obviously we want to make this as awesome for you as possible and enjoyable. So I really appreciate all the efforts and the support you guys have provided for us, and just tuning in means a lot to Anthony and I. And I'm sure Anthony has some words he wants to say as well.
Don't have much to say. Just thanks for tuning in, and let's go Giants.
There you go. All right, fellas. We'll catch you later.